We're talking about potential changes to Eternal Lands we'd like to see. Yellow is so boring and complicated. I like it. I kind of wish there was a little more competition, but the way they're dealing with servers right now in this game is not pro. They're not dealing. It's like now people are getting, I mean, maybe it's just because of my perspective. From when I started in December 2020 and then till now, it seems like they've been encouraging people to transfer. They want people to transfer to better servers. The game itself does not want to deal with merging servers and all that kind of stuff. So they want people to transfer. So in order to transfer, you have to level up. So it means you're kind of paying for the game. You're just, if you're anxious to transfer, you might be willing to spend a little more to get you to level 80, then spend a little more to get the transfer ticket. So it's a kind of a Ponzi scheme in a way to get you to spend money. Now there are these super dominant servers like 851 is kind of turning into. And so they're going to have to just pair up these servers in Eternal Lands versus the way they're doing it now. They have to look at, okay, there's these super servers that we should pair up in Eternal Lands versus putting one super server in with a bunch of normal servers. It's just going to be, it's like what happened with us. It's just going to be a little bit boring for us because all we're going to do is crush through everybody. And have little skirmishes here and there, but nothing. And then for everybody else on the server, they're just gonna be like, well, this is on the Eternal Lands. They're just gonna be like, well, this is pointless. There's a super server on this Eternal Lands. They're gonna win. This is kind of like, so they have to. They know. I mean, they should be able to tell, like, by looking at the server activity and stuff. Is like, oh my god, there's like 10 times the amount of activity on this server than every other server. And it's like, I mean, we have 3 full alliances where most servers have just struggled to have one good alliance to take into Eternal Lands, and we have 3 alliances that probably could have beat Eternal Lands all by ourselves. It's like, probably maybe not, maybe it would have been a little bit closer, more of a battle, because there was another server that had a decent fight for a while, but maybe it was just one server. But since we had 3 alliances, there would be no sleep if they put super servers. They should do an Eternal Lands bracket tournament like they did with just server versus server. So then, but they couldn't have it be a 3-week event though every time. Things I would change at this moment, things I know, top of my list changes with Eternal Lands. One is have it be, once you're in Eternal Lands, your entire server acts as one server. So like, it wouldn't have this thing that we're doing where there's like 3 alliances trying to navigate through. It would just be like, you're in Eternal Lands, your whole server is one server, period, done. Your whole server just acts as one giant alliance, I guess I should say. That should happen. That should happen without question. Once you're in Eternal Lands, your entire server acts as one giant alliance, period. That's what I think should happen there. And then the Dark Force thing that we discovered, they should definitely make hitting 5-star Dark Forces matter more. They should definitely make hitting the star level of Dark Forces matter more than just for Wonderstones, for individual points. So like, sure, you can still divide it by quadrant, by section, so you get more points, but you should also divide it by star level as well. So it's just another tier. It's like you get more points out of 4 and 5-star Dark Forces in this area, but the 5 stars you're going to get more points out of. They should definitely do that. Definitely do that. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer to me. But yeah, those are the 2 main changes I would make about Eternal Lands at this point. Like stage 2, each of the servers. Okay, let's go back a little bit. Have things with people a certain score to push the next gate. Hello, I'm from server 1803, so I think that's one of the newer servers. Yeah, super new, pretty new. They're into the 2000s now. Yeah, you're like 1,000 servers away from us. Well, like stage 2, each of the servers would fight their neighbor to move to stage 3, and then those forward. So you have to, so like, in order, well, that's kind of what it's designed like right now, but people just don't fight each other. Oh, war. Thanks for the dono, right? Or the sup. I like to call it the soup. Thanks for the soup with the hippo. Let's go. Where's the... Here it comes. Here it comes. There it is. That's one of my favorite things. Oh, I appreciate that, my friend. Appreciate that. Let's go. We're talking about changes, potential changes to Eternal Lands we'd like to see. You got any, War, do you have any changes you'd like to see? So you have to, so somehow you have to decide. You have to say, you have to knock out the server that's next to you. So each wedge, right? If you look at the mini, let's go to this map real quick. So, well, this doesn't really show it very well either. So like, we kind of did it to 726, but within this wedge, the upper wedge, this upper, I guess I could point to the screen, the upper wedge over there, you have to knock out the other server before you can move on. How would they decide like that criteria? Like, what do you have to do to win against that other server? It's like, maybe it's like you have to hold their gates. So you have to hold all their level 1 gates before, like you have to hold all level 1 gates before level 2 gates will open. Then that gets kind of, if that was the thing, then the way that we're doing it with separate alliances would be complicated, because not all the alliances would have all the gates. It would be so it's like, so that's why you'd have to do it a server wide. You know, once you're on Eternal Lands, your whole server works together in a way that you become one alliance. So you have to win all level 1 gates against the other opponents before the level 2 gates will even open. That would be crazy. Something like that. Or you own all the buildings, or you have to go into their territory and get one of their, like, you have to battle the other server in order to get to, like, something it's like a capture the flag thing. Like, there's something inside of their level 1 territory that you have to capture before your level 2 gate will open. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you think that would be crazy? Something you have to win to open the next gate. That would be sick. So it's like, it forces each wedge to fight, and it forces less alliances, because it means like you have to, and then it would just be, so it'd be, you know, the winner of 953 and 778 to open the third gate, we'd have to battle to open the third. That'd be intense. So you wouldn't be able to make alliances, which is kind of part of the game though, is like the off game stuff with like the discords and going, the community aspect, like the diplomacy aspect of it is actually part of the game too, which is kind of cool. So it would take away the diplomacy a little bit, because then you couldn't make these weird alliances as you progress through. So I kind of like your idea, and I kind of like, but then it takes away the diplomacy part. What do you guys think? There's like 13 people in the chat. Anybody had some experience with Eternal Lands that you're like, man, I wish they would do it like this? Jump in the chat, let us know. What else would I change about Eternal Lands? I don't know if there's anything else I would necessarily change. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, if you do get against two strong servers, you have to, there's like this 24-hour cycle you have to consider. It's like, oh my God. Because once one of the servers decides to go to bed, you're like, the other server could be like, okay, we're gonna get you then. The politics is an aspect for sure, but this would allow more competitive ELs. A shorter time frame would be nice, and peace periods between each area to rest of it. Yeah, I could see that. It definitely takes a commitment, like the 3 weeks. Like, yeah, it's like intense. Luckily, every time I've played it has been in good little breaks of my life. I'm like, oh, I can actually kind of devote